How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi. Welcome to another episode of Tier Talk. Guys, this is going to be a great discussion. We're going to be talking about the initial impression you may get from individuals when you're a rookie and how that impression can change as you grow in your career, as you grow and develop in your career. And this advice is going to serve twofold because one, it's for the rookie and just kind of being wary of the advice that comes your way. But two, it's also for the people that can create that impact with you at the very beginning of your career. Are you doing what's best for the individual, or are you doing only what's best for yourself for the sake of vanity? Now, granted, got some sponsors. Let's get that out of the way. We have American Military University. If you guys are looking to get a degree, seek higher education, please check out American Military University. They're very supportive of what we do in corrections, very supportive of what we do here on Tier Talk. And again, they will help you bring experience into the classroom. So again, please check out American Military University. We also have Inmate Manipulation Decoded. It's a great book. It's available on Amazon. Link to that is in the description. That book is used for training all across the country. So I'm honored that people found value in the hard work that was put in that book. That's about 20 years of experience in a quick little read that will help your career. We also have Lessons Learned While Working in a Prison, My Journey from Officer to Administration. This book is picking up steam. It's doing well now. It's starting to get some sales. That book I'm very proud of because it's just a collection of thoughts, not just from me, but from other people in this profession. And it gives you the chance to not just learn and grow yourself, but also if you ever decide to mentor someone else, it gives you a lot of good talking points to kind of share some good thoughts to help that person grow and develop. We also have the Tier Talk mugs. Those are available. And there's the phrase, it's time for our voices to be heard. That's since day one. And the link to that is also in the description. These posters are doing well. You're overly involved with an inmate. Those posters are selling every day if you want to get those posters. And the email is nassahs22@gmail.com. That's nassahs22@gmail.com. And for that same email, if you want to find out more about our webinars, because we're going to be doing webinars, the first webinar should be set up soon. We're recording it this week. It's going to be Navigating Your Impact on Rookie Staff. I'm going to be hosting it along with Sandy Hassan. The email for that as well, if you want more information, is nassahs22@gmail.com. It's about $75 a person. Seats are going to be limited. Good thing about this webinar is we could share more specific stuff because it's not an open platform and it allows me to get guests who may not want to come on YouTube but are willing to give a class on a webinar format. So I would say when you start taking these webinars, I think they're going to be more specific and in some cases maybe more personal because, again, people may share it on a closed platform, but they may not want to share it on an open platform. So we have a few coming in, but this is the first one we thought we could do. We're going to record a dialogue, and then what we'll do is we will share the recording during the webinar, which will probably be about 90 minutes. And then we'll have about another 45 minutes of an hour to just open-ended questions that we'll take from the audience or the people in attendance to just answer their questions. But it's going to be like a personal dialogue. And I think there's going to be a lot to be offered during these webinars. So again, the first one we're doing now is going to be kind of making your impact with the rookie staff, which kind of makes me run into what we're going to talk about now. So guys, when you come into this profession, when you come into corrections, it's going to be very overwhelming. I mean, even if you went to an academy at first, I mean, sadly, some places don't do it that way, but you know, they're going to teach you a lot of good knowledge, but then you're going to have to find a way to apply it. And then when you walk into that prison or that jail for the first time, there's just a lot that's going to overwhelm you at once when they give you the keys and say, hey, you got to run this now. It's on you. You know, and that happens sadly in some cases. Instead of us taking advantage and trying to cultivate the person and being on their side and guiding them through this profession on day one, most of the time they're just given the keys and told them that you have to run it. And that person takes off and this rookie's by themselves. And they get overwhelmed with just the operations, the dynamic of it all, seeing all these different departments working together with their own little missions and agendas. And, you know, you're overseeing a whole mess of people with different concerns who are going to try to manipulate you. And I mean, there's just so much going on at once, so much you're responsible for, even within your departmental structure, that you're going to get hit right off the bat. And it makes sense how someone coming in that's new to this profession can feel emotional and vulnerable at that time. Because again, they want to be effective, but they're faced with a lot of unknowns, and they just may not have the answer at that time to solve the many problems that are coming their way, or to give them a better understanding of what it is that's coming their way. Let's just start from there. Sadly, I don't think, even if you've been to an academy or even when you're doing on-the-job training, that we teach staff how to ask for help. I think that's something that we need to put out there more. I think sometimes when rookies come in, they may feel the need to impress, which I disagree with, guys. You know, at this point, when you're coming in, it's not about impressing anyone. It's about learning. So don't look to impress. You look to learn. But having said that, I think that for the most part, when we come into this profession, we need to admit that we're vulnerable, that we don't know everything, because of course we don't know everything. So that's great. You know, I think senior staff would respect that, but that we're willing to ask for help. And I think we have to be able to understand the importance of asking for help when needed. Now, with that said, because I just said that not everybody knows how to ask for help and it's not taught like it should be, we as senior staff and we as supervisors should know that those rookies are not going to ask for help right off the bat. So we need to be a little bit more proactive. I got a rookie in this unit. Let's visit it a little bit more and let's see what we got going on, and, you know, engage in some dialogue, ask them some questions, and just, you know, they may not ask for help, but that doesn't mean they don't need help. So let me go ahead and be proactive and see what I can do. Now, that's a good first chunk of this dialogue. So there's a lot to lean on. And that kind of leads us to what our discussion is right now when it comes to asking for help and who responds to that help. So with that said, as I mentioned, when you come in, you're vulnerable. You don't really have a lot of experience to lean on. And when people provide you with information or assistance, you may not have enough experience to compare and contrast whether what they're providing to you is correct, or if it's worse, wrong, or very limited. Wrong being the more severe end of that all, because you don't want wrong advice, or limited, which means that, you know, that was great, but I don't have any information on what I need to do at this moment. Yeah, you gave me a good generality, but I don't know how that applies specifically. So with that said, obviously, when we're looking to help people, we need to provide them with specific information that moves them from point A to point B. And for me, I've had good contact with individuals who are able to do that. Some of my senior officers always taught me the why, which, you know, the why behind things, going beyond the what and the how, which always led me to ask more deeper questions, more invested questions, that really connected me to the person who was teaching me. So the first advice for the rookie here is that you may be in such a state of vulnerability when it comes to needing answers that your first concern is that you may take these answers blindly that are coming your way because, you know, I just need an answer, without looking for the quality behind that answer. I would always recommend that you go beyond the surface question that you're going to ask, and you try to get invested and deeper with the question, even if that requires you going from the surface all the way 6 questions down until you can really get an understanding of what it is that's being expressed by the individual who's trying to help you. Now, with that said, there's another good thing behind that too, is that there's a lot of people that are very prideful in this profession, senior officers, supervisors, whatever it is, or senior staff, supervisors, department heads, whatever it is, that when they receive a position or they are seen in a position of authority, because sometimes even senior staff could see themselves in a position of authority over a rookie because of time in, or then you have the actual positions of authority based on rank or structure. You know, they may not be so quick to say that they don't know something. Again, because they may see that not knowing something is a weakness, especially if it's not knowing something based in areas that they should know something in. So instead of them admitting that they don't know something, they BS you a little bit. They BS you. They either talk in generalities, or sadly, they just give you information that just cannot be applied, very general, or just information that's outright wrong, which is worse because you may not be able to know what's right or wrong at that time, and then just kind of run on whatever the information is that's given to you. But what I noticed, guys, at the very beginning, if you ask questions that go beyond the surface, you start eliminating those that look to BS, those that are strictly about position and that fake facade or that vanity behind it all. And you start to find out the people that really do know it by the deeper the questions that you go down. So again, I may ask a surface question, which could be, how do I do a count? Very simple. And then someone may give you the quick surface answer to that. But I think as you start to get deeper and try to understand the why things are done, certain people may start to say, well, you know what? Yeah, I may not know that. I may not know the specifics to that. And next thing you know, okay, that's great. You gave me a great initial thing, but I still have some questions I have yet to be answered. Do you know who I can go to for help on that? And thank you for helping me at the very beginning, but is there someone else I can go to who can provide me a little more based on what it is that I'm looking for? Because again, you want to try to get as much as you can, because this is the information. This is the foundation of your career. This is where everything builds from. So having said that, the more information that you can get to create that strong foundation during the course of time will always help you as you start to move up. Because when you move up and you start to look down, you wind up finding yourself always looking to what you've learned at those initial levels. I always ask myself, man, when I was an officer, I used to do it this way. I wonder why they're doing it this way now. Let me go back and check. So not that you want to micromanage, but you tend to always look down. And that foundation matters because that's your strength when you move up. Trust and believe whatever you learn at that foundation is the strength of your ability to do your job at the highest of levels. Never forget that. That's part of your knowledge to probably connect to things that most people without that experience can't connect to. And again, it's not an effort to micromanage. I never said that. It's just more of having knowledge and maybe seeing things that others may not see at that highest level, and then going back and just running some very specific questions that can help build your knowledge workers and help them, by the way, help them as long as it's done for the right reasons. But now, having said that, that impression from those senior staff, that chance to make an impact from the supervisors, senior staff is paramount because that does create the foundation. So again, for a senior staff member or a supervisor, do the right thing. Create that impact. If you see that, you're surrounded by some new people, go out there and help them, put out your hand, guide them through. But when it comes to things that you may not know, don't let your pride get in the way and tell them you know it. Tell them you may not know it, but you're going to direct them in how to get that answer. I mean, that's the key. It's about direction. So having said that, I just thought it was a good topic because as I've moved up, people that I saw as godlike, because again, maybe I didn't know the position as much. I didn't know, what's required of that position until I moved up, or the people that I thought I had that had all the answers because I had none. That's probably the best way to put it. The people that I thought that had all the answers because I had none, I may have held them at a higher pedestal than some may have actually earned. And then it makes me go back and really, looking back, questioning all the advice they ever gave me. And it's very disheartening. Because as a rookie, you may see these people at this highest of levels. And then when you go back and you've continued to grow and they have it, and then you have dialogue with them later on, you realize that maybe you were just vulnerable and that pedestal that they were on was, yes, I know you put them there, but they may not have earned it. So again, just be wary on both sides. This is a chance to create an impact. And as a rookie, ask more. And as a senior staff or a supervisor, just know that rookie's going to believe you right off the bat if they don't have enough experiences to compare and contrast. So make your impact, but do it right. If you don't know something, say it and direct them where they could. And if you do know something, give them the time and teach. As always, guys, the show is Tear Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. Bell's going to notify every time I post a video. Stay safe.